Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 148, Allah says, وَلِكُلِّ وِجْهَةٌ هُوَ مُوَلِّيهَا فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ أَيْنَمَا تَكُونُوا يَأْتِ بِكُمُ اللَّهُ جَمِيعًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. And the translation for this verse is that for each is a direction towards which it faces, so race towards all that is good. Wherever you may be, Allah will bring you forth all together. Indeed, Allah is over all things competent. Now, competition and racing towards a goal is important because it makes us productive as human beings. We are not supposed to be static. And as mentioned previously, productive jealousy is beneficial because it helps us set goals for ourselves in deen and dunya. But the question we could ask is, if we were all to be involved in productive jealousy, can we guarantee that we will all be racing towards Allah? Can we guarantee that then our dunya will definitely be part of our deen and we will be successful on the Day of Judgment? While being jealous is healthy because it makes us challenge ourselves, it is always important to take a moment to stop and examine the things we are mostly jealous of. If we are constantly comparing ourselves with those who have attained more in dunya, then we are constantly setting higher goals for ourselves in terms of dunya, which means eventually, without even realizing it, we won't be dedicating any time to understanding Quran, spreading the message of Islam, and making sure that we fulfill the mission for which we were sent. And this is precisely what this verse is talking about. Now, based on the context of this verse and when it was revealed, Allah is talking about the changing of the Qibla. The first Qibla designated to the Muslims was Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, which was the same Qibla as was being followed by the Jews. Once the Qibla was changed to the Kaaba in Makkah, it caused a huge uproar amongst the mushrikeen, munafiqeen, and the Jews. So in the verse, Allah is reminding everyone that each person seems to be following his own Qibla. The Jews are facing Jerusalem, the Muslims are facing the Kaaba, and the Christians face east. That is their Qibla. So Allah is saying instead of every group facing its own Qibla, they should be racing towards righteousness. They should be racing towards that which is good, racing towards the truth, racing towards God. Don't just follow what your ancestors have taught you. Use your intellect, find the truth, and race towards it. And since there can only be one truth, there can only be one Qibla, and that is the direction that takes you towards God. The Qibla is not supposed to symbolize a certain direction like east or west. It's not supposed to symbolize a piece of land like Jerusalem. It's supposed to symbolize God. It's supposed to symbolize Tawheed. And that is precisely what the Kaaba does. However, Qibla can also have a general meaning. Each of us compete and race with each other towards certain goals. And we are chasing many different goals at the same time. We are trying to pass our exams, we're trying to get a good job, we're trying to do our 5-time prayers, we're trying to study the Quran, we're doing many different things at the same time. But while we are chasing different goals, the ultimate goal has to be Allah. Now, what does this mean? For example, getting a good job, making lots of money, or getting a promotion, these are all goals linked to dunya. But then ask yourself, why do you want a good job? Why do you want more money? Why do you want a promotion? Is it so that you can show off to your friends? Is it so that society can respect you and look up to you? Or is it so that you can use the power and money that you gain to do something great for Islam? If that is the case, then now you are chasing many goals, but your ultimate goal is Allah. Now your Qibla is correct. Now let me explain what that means. If you are putting all your effort towards chasing dunya, then even if you are doing productive jealousy, at that moment, whatever you are chasing or whatever you are obsessing over, that thing has become your Qibla. Now you can say, well, how is that my Qibla? It's your Qibla because that's the direction in which you pray. Now, of course, many of us will say, no, we pray towards the Kaaba. The 5-time prayers you are performing at that moment is just an exercise. You're not actually worshipping Allah. You're worshipping dunya. You're actually praying towards money, wealth, status, fame, society, pleasing family and friends, your spouse or your children. And because that's the direction in which you're always looking, that thing has become your Qibla. So as you set high standards for yourself in deen and dunya, make sure your ultimate goal is only Allah, which means make sure your dunya is a part of your deen. Otherwise, your Qibla has changed. So ask yourself, do you have any time for deen, or is it only dunya you're chasing? Ask yourself, why have you set certain goals for yourself in dunya? What do you want to attain from them? If you are able to attain it, what do you plan to do with it? Keep a check on yourself, because maybe, despite doing productive jealousy, your Qibla might have changed. You might be chasing the wrong thing. And then people like that will definitely be unsuccessful on the Day of Judgment. Assalamu alaikum.